Most TV news stories are about people, not buildings. This one is different. It is, if you will, a postcard from New York. One of the best places to get a perspective of all the building work that's been going on throughout New York these past 20 years, but especially in southern Manhattan, which is where Ground Zero is located, is to take one of the little commuter ferries that chug over every now and then from the next door state of New Jersey. While Manhattan has seen several changes to its skyline over the last 2 decades, including tall, thin skyscrapers, some backed by Chinese money, nowhere in the whole of the city has been transformed more than the area immediately around the World Trade Center site, downtown. Construction's been moving forward, even in the COVID era.
While the city was sleeping, the city was upgrading its infrastructure. If you look at our airport, LaGuardia Airport, which is more of our domestic airport, that is going through a full rebuild, the first rebuild of an American airport in a quarter century. We also have our train hall at Penn Station, Moynihan Train Hall at the old Farley Post Office being renovated. And the Javits Center, which is our main convention center on the far west side, has just finished a multi-billion-dollar expansion.
As this is the 20th anniversary of 9/11, let's focus for a moment on the downtown district. One World Trade Center dominates the skyline. At 1,776 feet, over 541 meters, the Freedom Tower, as it's commonly known, is a little taller than the twin towers that once stood here. At ground level, the South and North Tower footprints are surrounded by the names of those who died on September the 11th, 2001. Nearby, the 9/11 National Memorial and Museum tells their stories vividly. 20 years on, there are 3 things easily seen by the public that were here on that day in 2001. The Fritz Koenig sphere was badly damaged. It used to stand in between the 2 twin towers, and now it rests in an elevated garden overlooking the Ground Zero site. This Callery pear tree was found burned and broken nearby. Today it's known as the Survivor Tree, thriving as a symbol of resilience and rebirth. And these doors are the only part of the original Trade Center still standing that's easily visible. They form part of a rebuilt subway entrance. Back above ground, the Oculus is now the new Lower Manhattan transportation hub. The mangled rail lines from 20 years ago have been replaced and relaid. Getting here was tortuous. The Polish-American architect Daniel Liebeskin's design was chosen for the new Ground Zero, but his vision was never fully completed. After months of arguing over retail space and the style of the memorial, a version of his plans is what you see today. Not far away on the Hudson River at the North Cove Marina, millionaire yachts tie up for the summer, and people drink in bars at lunchtime and before going home to their families in the evening. Further along the Hudson towpath is New York's newest permanent attraction. Little Island Park is a gift to the people of New York from the media mogul Barry Diller and his wife, the fashion designer Diane von Furstenberg. It is a favorite spot to watch the sunset over New Jersey. On the other side of Manhattan on the East River, the South Street Seaport is another development that's come into its own in the past 20 years. Historic ships, restaurants, home to the famous Fulton Street Fish Market, it's a place for office workers to go at lunchtime and with their families and friends at the weekend. What tourist attractions like the South Street Seaport and the others we've seen today need more than anything is the tourist back. They have the domestic tourists, but what they want more than anything is the international tourists. And yes, Chinese viewers, that includes you. As soon as you're cleared to get here, New York wants you back. Chris Haywood, whose organisation NYC and Company is the city's official tourism organisation, says it takes 4 domestic tourists to spend what one international tourist does. The return of business and convention travel is key. China, the UK and Western Europe, the main markets that are currently missing.
We need the borders to be responsibly and safely reopened. We need to figure out a system to do that. And we need to do it pretty quickly because we're leaving a lot of money on the table.
And as the 20th anniversary of 9/11 comes and goes, the hope is New York will once again return to being what it's been as long as anyone can remember. One of the top tourist destinations in the world, albeit one that looks a little different these days. John Terrett, CGTN, New York.